welcome back to another video, and this one is going to be me rating League 1 and League 2 managers from 20th down to 1st, in my opinion. That's a big thing in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. To start off my list, bottom of the barrel, Mark Wilson is the current Brecon City manager and has them propping up the SPFL leagues as it stands. Had one season as Airdrie manager prior to this, but still has a lot to prove for me. Last place. Sorry Mark. And now, onto the manager that we're outside the ground of, Kevin RUTKIEWICZ of STIRLING Albion. The only reason why he sits second bottom and not bottom is simply the fact that he sits second bottom in League 2 just now, so he's not performing the worst in the entire SPFL. And he also had a relatively successful period at Annan, where you're working on a reduced budget, and he was the assistant manager there in that time. He's not had the best start to this season by any means, but his first full season in management will show really what he's got to offer. Mark Roberts is up next. He had 2 seasons as Ayr United manager between 2012 and 2014, which weren't classed as great by all accounts. He was Gus McPherson's assistant at Queen's Park before getting the official manager's job. He currently sits 7th in League 2 with Queen's Park as their first team manager and has a 26% win ratio in his time there. 18th and 3rd from bottom. 17th place, Stevie FARRELL, current manager of Stranraer, and unfortunately he is placed very low on this table, especially for a manager that currently operates his business in League 1, but for me he would be good with a bigger budget. But when he works at Stranraer, that's all I've got to base this off of, and he currently has him sitting bottom of League 1 and hasn't really set the head of the light as a manager in his career so far. As I said, currently rock bottom of League 1, that's never a good look, so unfortunately for you Stevie, you're 4th from bottom. 16th place, Forfar Athletic manager Jim Weir. Like Stevie FARRELL, another manager who is in League 1 but has a very low placing in my listing because he has a 12-year managerial career so far and he's yet to really do anything big at any of the clubs he's been at. He's managed all 4 Angus clubs and Elgin City, and as I said, just hasn't really done much in his career so far. He's had no promotions and he's now struggling with Forfar in League 1, so sorry Jim, but you are the 5th worst manager in the SPFL in my opinion. 15th place is Kevin Harper, the current Albion Rovers manager. He seems to have plenty of ambition and seems to have a good head on his shoulders when it comes to eventually being successful, but at the moment he's not doing too great with Albion Rovers and hasn't really set the head of the light since taking over at the League 2 club. He sits relatively low on my list due to his 24% win ratio as Albion Rovers manager and his poor start so far this season. So there you go, number 15. As you can see, we're standing outside the ground that this gaffer currently operates his business these days. Davie Irons has been a caretaker manager for a lot of his career so far. He's doing an okay job with Stennismuir so far this season, 14th on my list. Elgin City manager Gavin Price is 13th on my list. He's in his 3rd season as Elgin City manager and currently has him sitting just in the promotion playoff places in League 2. He's doing a good job with what he has, so you can't really criticise him for much. 13th place. 12th place is Peter Murphy, manager of Annan Athletic. He oversaw one of their best finishes in recent times last season by getting to the League 2 playoff final to go into League 1. Ultimately, he failed to do so, but as I said, it is recognised as one of the biggest achievements in Annan Athletic's recent history. He makes it in at 12th. 11th place, Ian Murray, current manager of Airdrie. He's a bit of a mixed bag this one. He had an okay spell at Dumbarton where, obviously, working at Dumbarton isn't the easiest job in the world and he done okay there. He wasn't very well liked at St Mirren and now he's manager of Airdrie where, yet again, he's not very well liked by the fans, with them calling for his head in recent weeks, but he has them sitting in the playoff places as it stands. As I said, strange one for me, 11th place, mid-table. Middle of the road in my list and sitting in 10th is Gary Bollan. Done a decent job with Livingston, then moved on to Airdrie, was sacked by Forfar and is now the current Cowdenbeath manager and has them sitting 2nd in League 2 and doing a decent job with a team on a low budget and at one of the poorer stadiums in the league as well, which in my opinion has a factor. I have heard that he's not the most cheery guy, but that might work for him. As I said, middle of the road, mid-table, Gary Bollan. A great start to his career with Alloa, which was largely successful with a few promotions involved, but then what was recognised as a failure with both Dundee and Falkirk, especially Falkirk, has let him down slightly. He's now top of League 2 with Cove Rangers, which yes, isn't the hardest task, but he's doing it. He's 9th in my list. 8th place is Stuart Petrie, a manager who has worked wonders with a Montrose side that, until a few years ago, were really flirting with relegation out of the full SPFL, and now he's got them up into League 1 after a promotion from League 2 just a few seasons ago. Yes, they had a poor start to the season, but he's now got them in a good vein of form, and I just like him as a manager. I rate him quite highly, and I think that he'll continue to do well at whatever club he ends up going to. 8th place for me, just above that mid-table mark. 7th place, Ray McKinnon. We're outside the stadium of this man right now, and he's certainly a controversial figure, especially in recent years, with his Morton departure being the main thing. He won the Edinburgh Cup with Dundee United and done a decent job with Raith Rovers in his time there, but something just doesn't convince me about him, so he sits 7th in my table for managers in League 1 and League 2. I don't know what you think about this one. It's quite a controversial pick for me to put him as low as 7th, but you have your say in the comments below. You've got to remember, he is a Fraud FC member, so that has to come into consideration. 6th place, Edinburgh City manager James McDonough, working under tight circumstances at Edinburgh City, but doing very well under the circumstances, with them currently sitting 3rd in Scottish League 2. He was assistant manager to Peter Houston at Falkirk and got them to the Scottish Cup final in 2015 as assistant manager, as I said, and 2nd place in the second tier in 2 consecutive seasons in both 2016-17 and 2017-18. He sits 6th in my list and boasts a pretty decent CV to boot. Into the top 5 we go, and it's the longest serving manager in the SPFL currently, Jim McInally of Peterhead. He's got himself 2 promotions with Peterhead in his reign and took them to the Challenge Cup final in 2016 to be defeated by Rangers on that occasion. He definitely works on a decent budget, but to be staying in a job for that long, he must be doing more right than wrong. 4th place, Raith Rovers manager John McGlynn. One that won't tug at your heartstrings and make you love him, but he's certainly got a good wealth of experience behind him, and one that'll help him along the way. And he's currently got Raith Rovers sitting top of League 1, and that is their ultimate ambition, is to get back up into the Championship. So as it stands, he's doing his job just fine, and I think that's down to the wealth of experience that he has behind him, and the fact that he's just a good manager. So 4th place, just missing out on a medal in the top 3, is your man John McGlynn.
Can you count?
In 3rd place, Jim Duffy, the most experienced manager on this list, and on a whole, wherever he's been, he's done a pretty decent job. He's now manager of Dumbarton, and after a relatively poor start, he's got them playing good football and winning games relatively regularly. He takes the bronze medal. 2nd place, and I don't know if this one will come as a surprise, just a bit like the Ray McKinnon one, but it's Danny Lennon, the current manager of the team that we're standing outside right now, Clyde. As Cowdenbeath manager, he got promoted twice. He guided St Mirren to the 2013 League Cup, and as Clyde manager, he gained promotion after Clyde's long stint in League 2. He gained promotion back into League 1 last season, and now has him challenging for at least a promotion playoff place in League 1 in the 2019-20 season. He's doing very well for me and completely justifies his 2nd place spot. The moment you've all been waiting for. By process of elimination, you would have figured it out already, but 1st place in League 1 and League 2 managers for me is current East Fife manager Darren Young. Did a good job with Albion Rovers before their club downsized and had to get rid of him for that reason, and now he's excelling with East Fife and overperforming week in week out with a squad that may or may not deserve to be in the position they are, but Darren Young, I think, certainly has a lot to do with that. He's destined for big things, and that's one thing that I'm sure of. So there you go. 1st place, getting the gold medal, is Darren Young. So, just to confirm, this is my list. Let me know what you think about all the picks that I've had in the comments below, including some of the controversial ones like Ray McKinnon in 7th, because I know that I've got Falkirk fans here, and they might have a wee thing to say on that one. I'm relatively happy with my list overall, and I think I've chosen it fairly enough. So this is where I end the video. Obviously this is a bit of a different one. I've went to different locations and filmed different parts of this, and this is where I've finished my day at Broadwood Stadium before I head to the Motherwell Kilmarnock game later on tonight. So this one is taking a bit more effort, so if you did enjoy it, please give it a like. Comment down below your opinion on the best managers in League 1 and League 2 and the worst as well, and subscribe for more of this type of content. And until the next video, I'll see you then. Cheers guys.